The less boundaries someone has, the more other people can then walk on them, and therefore the less attractive they come off. Now, in this video, I'm going to show you how to stop the cycle of other people walking on you, how to stop the cycle of repelling love away, because the value isn't coming from the inside out and being expressed through that of boundaries. So this is something that when you learn to apply in your life, you'll notice that people just respond to you differently. There's an energy that you will contain that has more contagious type attractive mentality to it. And also, here's the benefit. You will repel people that you wouldn't actually resonate with. Like, you want to have boundaries. This is one reason that a lot of empaths, people that can feel other people's energies, may attract narcissists. There's no boundaries there, and narcissists can only get through to people that have a lack of boundaries. So that's why in this video, I'm going to show you a mantra, a process that you can apply in your life that will make it so that you are no longer a doormat, you no longer feel guilty when setting boundaries, and you literally bring your energy back to where you are attractive from the inside out because of the energy you are embodying. Now, first off, for this is something that I had to learn the hard way. For a long time, like imagine this right here, this little chart. This shows an energetic representation of that of energy. Now, you'll see that the one in the middle, say this is you, this is me, this is like the self. Now, what happens is most people will have like a healthy boundary here. This blue is the boundary. An empath, or somebody that can feel other people's energies, may have trouble setting boundaries because there's holes in the boundary where other things can get through. And what happens is when other people get through, the empath literally believes that these other people, say the O stands for other, or the 0 stands for other, literally other is identified as this is my responsibility. This is something I am meant to take care of. Their emotions is my emotions, and therefore there's a big burden and there's a big lack of setting boundaries. And what happens is when there is a lack of boundaries, people don't respect it as much. There's a lot less respect there. And it's an interesting concept, but it's literally what happens energetically is people feel that someone else isn't strong and isn't solid in their own frame, and therefore they feel like they can walk on them. So for me, an example of this, a version of this, was that there used to be, when I was in like a friend group or something like that, there would be no boundary to kind of like what I would and wouldn't do for someone else. I would do anything to make my friends happy. I would do anything to make my family happy. I would do anything, and because of that, there'd be this tendency to where I would be with friends that I would do anything for, and many times it wouldn't be a reciprocated energy. And that was because I had shown and almost shown my cards that I will do anything for someone. I'll drive across town, I'll do this, I'll do that. I will cancel my own plans so that I can be at your thing. And there'd be such guilt there that I would feel like obligated to do it, even though maybe it wasn't authentic. But then there's an expectation from friends and family that Aaron completely dissolves himself to make everyone else happy. So then when I stop doing that, there's this big shock. It's like, why is he all of a sudden not doing what he's always done before? Have you ever had that happen? Or maybe there's a friend that you would drive 2 or 3 hours to go see, and then they get mad that you won't drive 2 or 3 hours to go see them, but at the same time, they would never do that for you. And then you're conflicted. You're like, why is this energy active? You know, I know people where that's actually happened. And it's a very interesting dynamic. I've had times, I've shared this before, where I drove like 10 hours to Colorado for one of my best friend's birthdays. And I had to cancel a photo shoot. I had to cancel like a whole bunch of stuff. It was very inconvenient, but I did it because it's like I'm grateful I did it because I had a good time, but at the same time, I can see that I completely lost my sense of self. And I did something that was more so, I just felt like I couldn't say no. Now, imagine this scenario in dating and relationships. Imagine you're with somebody and they're able to walk all over you, they treat you like shit, and you let them do that. That communicates to somebody else, I don't have a standard, and it is okay that you treat me this way. And when somebody sees someone else treating you that way, they may also lose respect for you. Because they see that why would you allow someone to treat you like this? So think, another word for boundary that you can think of with this, boundaries equals standard. What is the standard that you set, the baseline that you set for what is okay versus not okay? And I'll tell you, the more you value yourself, the more you will say no easier, and it won't be okay for certain people to maybe treat you a certain way. Now, a thing we'll talk about in a minute, by the way, that's very powerful is that boundaries are internal. Something my shadow work integration coach taught me. It's completely transformed my life. I'll share that in a minute. However, what is okay versus what is not okay? Now, imagine that it is okay and you allow other people to treat you like shit. What is happening is when you say yes to an energy that isn't conducive to you and isn't beneficial for you, then what happens is you're allowing that in, and by not saying no, if you were to say no, you'd be saying yes to yourself. So it's good to have boundaries. I remember when I first started on YouTube and I started making videos, I was kind of like, I'd hang out with friends, we'd smoke, we'd drink, I would go to my 9-to-5 job, and then I started making videos and I started developing this vision. I started having this vision for what I wanted to create in my life. And I started moving towards it. I started making daily videos, and I started feeling very empowered. And then my friends would say, hey, come hang out, and I literally had to say no. And the reason it was easier for me to say no is I knew that if I just kept doing that, I would stay the same. But if I kept making videos that I was passionate about, I could create a new reality for myself. I could start growing, and then I could get out of that 9-to-5 job, and I could help more people. And that's what really changed my life is I realized that the more it actually became beneficial, the more successful I've become, the more I've had to say no, and therefore also either the more attractive I am, or my energy is, or the more that is communicated through my actions. Something that happens to me sometimes is I will do a live event, or I'll meet someone in public that maybe recognizes me from my videos, and sometimes people will say, hey, awesome, great to meet you, let's hang out. Can I get your number and let's hang out? And I used to back in the day feel really bad about this. I'm like, sorry, I'm really busy. I have my friends and my family that I'm like, my intention is to keep up with them. I don't have room for like new people to come in my ecosystem to like have obligations to hang out with and stuff like that. And it's almost like there's maybe a lack of context there because people may watch my videos and be like, oh, I just want to hang out with him or whatever. And then it's like, and then I'm in my own ecosystem bubble where I'm like, doing things, busy. I have a team to deal with. I have family and friends and like obligations and stuff, So maybe it's kind of a little bit of a lack of awareness. But I used to have so much problem setting boundaries where I'm like, there was a couple times I even gave away my phone number because I just couldn't say no. And now that I look back, and I'm not trying to be cocky here, but if I go out, there's times I might go out and get recognized a couple times. And it's like, if I were to give away my number every time, it would be communicating that I just maybe not have a lot going on, but also be inauthentic because I'd be giving away my number because I felt guilty. And you can apply this towards dating. I know many of you all maybe hit on, and then you give away your number because you feel obligated, you don't want to reject somebody else, but in actuality, it may not be authentic for you to give your number out, So it's an interesting thing. But one thing you want to become aware of with this is what do you really want? What is your self? How would you be filling up your own self cup of what is like actually fulfilling to you? I know that if I give out my number to everybody I meet, I'll have even less time to do my zone of genius and my passion. And I'll even more unauthentically have to be like telling people why I can't do things and explaining myself. So it actually communicates value to have a standard. And I've actually had to say this in a way where I kind of felt bad, but I ended up not feeling bad. I'm like, listen, I meet a lot of people, that may recognize me or something like that. And if I gave my number out to everybody, I would have no time to like do what I do. So no, I'm sorry, I can't give out my phone number to you. You know what I mean? I know it sounds kind of cocky or whatever, but if you were in my position or in a position to where, you have to guard your own energy at any level, whether you're on YouTube and whatever, like I'm not trying to like brag or anything here. I'm just explaining something from my personal life that is something that happened recently that I had to work through or become aware of. But in the same way, the more, and also it's another thing, the more successful you become, the less time you have to put towards mindless things. Doesn't mean you can't enjoy life, you can't go into nature and stuff like that, but you start to value your time more to where you don't do things that won't necessarily do things that'll drain your energy or take energy to do. So boundaries literally express out value. And even another example of this is in dating and relationships. Let's say you go out with somebody, and let's say that they don't value your time, or they don't really they show up hours later, or they don't get back to you, or they flake on you. If you let that be okay, that is communicating to them that you don't value your own time, that you don't have your own priorities for yourself, that you allow other people to flake on you. So one good thing that you could do is express and actually vulnerably say, hey, this happened, this can never happen again, and if it does happen again, I'm gone. That's not a dick move to do. That is expressing your own integrity, your own values. And I know from personal experience that this, not only do you feel more empowered, but it also drives more attraction. Because you are more so in your own value. You're in your own energy. You are expressing that. So boundaries, having a higher standard is attractive. And remember this, a lot of times you'll think, if you tell somebody no, here's the thing, when I've told people, no, I can't give you my number, I'm too busy, or I've had to say no to things, I get offered all the times, can you come do this, can you come do that? And I literally just have to say no. If they feel rejected or negative emotion, this is what I have to remember. This saying right here, and this isn't like a bypassing thing where it's you always just deflect your own stuff, but in general, if you're an empath or someone that struggles to set boundaries, that's your shit, not mine. If they feel rejected or they feel bad, that's their stuff to deal with. You are being authentic. The main thing to realize when it comes to setting boundaries is what you are doing is you are rearranging your values. Whereas before, you may have valued other people's opinions, other people's thoughts, other people's validations, for other. Instead of valuing that, you start to value your own sense of self-confidence. You start to draw energy from within. As I started to make my values, my vision of what I want to create in the world, me being authentic, me being the most bold version of myself, me being vulnerable, as I started to do all of that, what happened is I started to live in integrity with my own values. People that lack their values, they don't have a code they live by. They don't have integrity. Integrity is also being consistent with your word. And if you say it's okay, if you're communicating, it's okay for someone to walk on you, that's out of integrity for you actually being loving to yourself. So the thing you want to do is you want to become aware of your values. You want to become aware of how you're showing up in the world so that you can shift out of the old version of yourself and into a version of you that is more solid, that does have boundaries, but the boundaries communicate value. When you're able to say no to someone that's not treating you well, you will then say yes to someone that will treat you with respect. When you say no to someone that doesn't respect your time, you will say yes to someone that does respect your time. Saying no is a superpower, and it literally communicates value. But the main thing that will help you with attraction more than anything here is living by your own values. Authenticity, vulnerability are two powerful values I live by. Vulnerability means putting myself out there, expressing myself, not being afraid of rejection. It means being authentic over wanting other people's validation. It means being bold. It means stepping into the unknown. These are different values I live by. And every one of you, most people don't know their values. They let other people dictate their values. Remember, there's nothing wrong with being empathic to other people. That's it's a superpower in some ways because you can really serve in a powerful way. But most people, they don't master this and learn how to set boundaries, and therefore people continue to walk all over them. So one thing that helps you through this process too is going through a simple 3-step process to transforming your life, for shifting out of the old you and into a brand new you. It's also the process of raising and elevating your level of consciousness by letting go of the old identity. And if you haven't checked it out yet, I have a free PDF that shows you step by step how to shift out of the old and shift into the new so that you can set boundaries easier than ever without feeling guilty. It's in the top of the description box below. Download that PDF and watch how it gives you a lot of clarity as to exactly what to do. And then also, I have one of the most powerful videos that I have on setting boundaries right here. Watch this video to wire this in and watch how it changes your life. There is a difference between energetic boundaries and outer boundaries. Now, energetic, think of inner, I-N-N-E-R, energetic instead of energetic. But the difference is when we,